They're the biggest stars of the greatest show on Earth. And when the spotlights are shining, these amazing animals know exactly how to thrill an audience.
It's gorgeous, but you know the leftist propaganda. A circus mistreats its animals. Animal rights extremists hate the circus, even though kids love it. But last month, their slanderous narrative was proved wrong. An animal rights group had to pay almost $16 million to Feld Entertainment that runs Ringling Brothers and other productions, one of the biggest circus companies in the world. In fact, the activists alleged the company mistreated its elephants. But the complaint was found to be frivolous, as in it was a fake, a hoax. Feld Entertainment went to court after it learned the animal rights groups paid one of their elephant cleaners to claim falsely that the company abused its animals. Stephen Payne is the Vice President of Corporate Communications at Feld Entertainment. He joins us with more from Washington. Mr. Payne, welcome to the program. How did you learn that this smear, this defamatory lawsuit against your company was built on a lie of an elephant trainer being bribed to defame you?
Well, it took us 14 years for the entire litigation to come to fruition. During the course of discovery, we actually found out that this former employee, a gentleman named Tom Ryder, who was essentially a barn man, he was paid to clean up after the elephants. We discovered that they had been paying him almost $200,000 for his participation in this lawsuit. So as a result of that, we realized, again, we were proud of our animal care. We knew that this lawsuit didn't have any merit, but when we discovered these payments, we realized that they had engaged in this conspiracy, this scheme to really take our elephants away from us. So as a result of that, we turned around and filed a racketeering case, RICO, which is not something you normally hear about when you talk about animal rights groups. But really, it's what they did. They engaged in a conspiracy between these groups and their lawyers to lie to the court in an attempt to take our elephants away. You know, it reminds me of the case we recently heard of Chevron being sued by environmental extremists who paid off evidence as well. Tell me the antis, the anti-zoo, anti-circus extremists who set up this racket. They obviously were looking for publicity, but they probably made a lot of money fundraising off it too. Who were the liars and gangsters who came at you? Well, the first organization was the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, otherwise known as ASPCA. Other players in this suit were a group called Animal Protection Institute, Born Free USA, and one of the biggest humane organizations in the world, the Humane Society of the United States. ASPCA settled with us 2 years ago for almost $10 million, and HSUS, and I would stress here, and their lawyers, who were also complicit in this conspiracy. All the payments to this former employee of ours were funneled through the law firm. So the lawyers knew about what was going on and tried to hide the payments. That's incredible. Now, I know lawyers. I am one myself. And when I see crusading lawyers, I always know there's money behind all their ideological talk. Why would a law firm spend money hiring a man to lie about the circus? Were they suing you for big bucks? Who was paying them? Because a lawyer's not going to spend 200 grand of his own money to hire a liar unless the lawyer thinks he's going to make millions more. Well, clearly the payments came from some of these animal rights groups. The Humane Society, head of the Humane Society, a gentleman named Wayne Pacelli, claims he had nothing to do with this lawsuit, but we have checks that he signed to these law firms ostensibly to pay their chief plaintiff. Really, when it came down to it at trial, they realized they didn't have a case, and the only damages they asked for at trial were attorney's fees. Originally, they wanted to go after the elephants, and when they came to the conclusion that their case was falling apart around them, I mean, Mr. Ryder was, and this is in the words of the court, not mine, pulverized on cross-examination. The judge realized this man's lying. So at the end of the day, they said, oh, if we just get attorney's fees, it's okay. The judge, of course, said no, and actually turned around and granted Feld Entertainment attorney's fees, which has never happened before in an Endangered Species Act case in the United States. That's incredible. Now, you say this is a 14-year litigation. Again, I know enough businessmen to know that they want to make money. They often pay nuisance payments just to get a litigant off their back. Yeah, here's some go-away money of a few thousand, a few $100,000. What was it that made your company choose to fight for 14 years? I mean, that is unbusinesslike from one point of view. I understand the moral case of not paying liars, but I mean, that's 14 years that you had to keep financing your lawyers too. Exactly. Well, thankfully, we had really good lawyers who were able to ferret out these payments. But really what it comes down to is Feld Entertainment is a privately owned, family-run company. And it really is a testament to Kenneth Feld, our chairman and CEO, and his entire family for really standing up for what was right. We knew that we had the best animal welfare programs. We know how well our elephants are taken care of. I mean, most of the elephants are named after members of the Feld family and their friends. Kenneth has sometimes said, I'm not going to let people be mean to an elephant that's named after my daughters and my grandchildren.
That's incredible.
But really what it was is he decided, I'm not going to be shaken down by these groups. I'm not going to let them spread lies.
I'm glad to hear it, Mr. Payne. I salute you and the Feld family for fighting against the fraudsters. And it's a lesson to us up here in Canada never to take these animal rights or environmentalist extremists or their lawyers at face value. Mr. Payne, I wish you good luck.